building something that will destroy humanity. But there's essentially cult forming around Silicon Valley, around these AI researchers like the Sam Altmans, people who own those companies, things of that nature. And Sam Altman I think he's a pretty evil person, to be honest with you. At the very least, just a fucking major liar. James Lee has done a ton of reporting on him. Definitely worth checking out. But essentially, they're not talking about this publicly, but there's essentially a cult forming in Silicon Valley. And the goal is to build, they call it AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. But the reality is, it is Artificial Superintelligence, ASI. And they believe that if they can build the ASI, the Artificial Superintelligence, like the actual AI, because like where AI is at right now, it's like an assistant to you, but it's not very like cognitive. But once we build a super intelligent AI that has cognition of some sort, self-awareness, they essentially believe that once we do that, we will have created a god. And that will be our God. That will be our new God. Now, I don't know how I fit into all that because I don't believe in God. And I'm certainly not going to believe in a God that a man, like that we built, or in the case of AI, that we've grown. Now, a super intelligent AI will also be able to grow even more super intelligent AIs, and it becomes a cycle. And at that point, we very much run into the problem of not being useful to the AI. And then it's game over, because an AI of that level could run our world. Our world largely runs on digital systems. Don't really need us for that. We're building the infrastructure for it, potentially, if we do end up in that kind of a world. AI is just a little Microsoft paperclip on steroids. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's just something that can understand you and complete tasks, like at least right now, right? So I've been using AI basically since, the first iteration of OpenAI, ChatGPT, whatever, and using large language models to ask questions. Or it even wasn't even like ask questions. It was like, you'd ask questions, you get shitty answers. So you'd like talk to it to like write something for you or like do something for you. And it really wasn't that useful, right? The early, like, it really wasn't useful until like 2024, probably like mid to late 2024. Was it actually useful for me, like from like a marketing position? And so then like, you'd use it like 2024, 25, and using it for like a lot of marketing stuff. And then I discovered Claude Code, and I was a little late to the party on that, to be honest with you. I let all my guys do it because I was like, well, you guys know how to do code, like how to do code and all that sort of stuff, so it just can help you do something that you already know how to do. I didn't wrap my brain around like, no, its job is to actually understand what you want. And like, I'm good at prompting, I'm good at understanding what I want and giving it what I want in full detail. You bring that over to a Claude Code sort of thing, and now it can manage all of these things for you. That like the ADHD guy up here, like I can't like do the monotonous fucking shit. Like it drains me. Ankafit says, I'm in Silicon Valley, lots of nefarious stuff happening up here. Yeah, for sure. Obviously, there's stuff that we know about, right? Like I think his name was like Satcher Balaji, or I'm maybe butchered it, but it's something like that. The OpenAI whistleblower was, basically exposing OpenAI for training its models on, trademark copyrighted works, and then went on a trip, came home, ordered food, and then killed himself. Did he? I don't know. Didn't seem right. Didn't seem right to me. Didn't seem right to a lot of people. Tucker Carlson asked Sam Altman about that directly, and Sam Altman squirmed like a little fucking worm. Over the last 6 months to a year, we've seen a lot of like senior developers, really senior people at all of them, at Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, all these companies leave and make public exits about like, all of them like won't say like what the threats are directly, but will allude to threats and things that I don't want to be a part of this and I don't want to, help, so I think there's a lot of people that are leaving and they're leaving Silicon Valley. That's Liz the developer talked about that. She did a whole video about that recently. She's like, she's out of there. All these other people are out of there. They're all just like hitting the road. They're getting like Sprinter vans and like Winnebagos and shit. And they're like fucking splitting, dude. Because like the next year and a half might get fucking nutty. And I think a lot of the people who are staying are either in or about to be in the cult that is forming around this idea that we're going to create the artificial superintelligence that will bring about utopia. One of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see here. I'll pull this out so you can see it. This patch, Don't Panic, from one of my favorite movies ever, which is actually a series of books by Douglas Adams called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Essentially, there is this thing that is essentially AI. It's the all-knowing, the all-seeing. And you can go and you can ask it a question. And everybody wants to know the answer to the question, what is the meaning of life, everything, all of it? It says, well, let me think on that, come back in X amount of years or whatever. And they come back. And the answer is 42. The answer is 42 because you can't know, some people take that as like you can't know the true meaning, the true purpose of the world, of existence, of all of it. But there's also another way to take that, which is the way that I think of it, because I talk about this all the time. If you know me in my personal life, I say this all the time. My takeaway from all of this, from that scene, is that you got to ask the right questions. The quality of the answer is directly in line with the quality of the question that you ask. The greatest skill I think you can have is crafting your questions. Think about what it is that you really want to know. And is there a question you can ask that can unlock the answer that is actually the 50 questions that you have in the back of your mind? So my take on that 42 scene is that the question was wrong. I think it's also that to understand humanity and everything, it's the meaning of life and all of that stuff. It's a futile task. That's what that really is supposed to be. But an extra layer is like, but maybe if they ask the right question, maybe they could have gotten the answer that they were actually seeking. Highly, highly suggest watching Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. For sure. But yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff up there. And I think that they think they're building the AI god. Some of these people, I think that's what they're banking on, honestly. And I'm seeing that there's really a split. And the split is those who believe that they're building a deity and those who believe that that's fucking nuts. And we're potentially building something that will destroy humanity. And for some of those people, it might be a 1% chance. If a fucking sandwich had a 1% chance of having shit in it, would you eat it? Probably not.